There is a moment in life that each of us encounters when the world feels heavy and our dreams feel distant. It is that moment after a failure, when silence surrounds us and the echo of defeat whispers that perhaps we are not enough. We have all felt that sting. We have all walked through the valley of disappointment, wondering if the path we chose was meant for someone else, someone stronger, someone luckier. But what if I told you that this very moment, the one that feels like the end, is not an ending at all? What if I told you that hidden deep inside this moment of failure is a seed, small and silent, waiting to grow into the very greatness you were destined for? Every failure is a seed of transformation. It is not a tombstone, it is a planting, and like any seed, it requires the right conditions to bloom. Think about the seed of a tree for a moment. When it is first buried under the soil, surrounded by darkness and dirt, it might seem like its journey has ended. But that seed is not dead. It is gathering strength. It is transforming in silence, hidden from the world, preparing for the moment it will break through the ground and reach for the sky. That is exactly what failure is doing for you. When life buries you under the weight of setbacks and rejection, it is giving you the soil in which your transformation will take root. So often we see failure as a sign to stop. We think the closed door means the journey is over, but failure is not a wall. It is a mirror reflecting the areas where we need to grow. It is life's way of whispering, you are not done yet. There is more within you than you realize. Failure is not here to destroy you. It is here to rebuild you, to strip away the illusions and excuses, and to awaken the relentless spirit that success demands. Think of every great inventor, leader, or visionary we admire. They all walk through the fire of failure. Thomas Edison, when asked about his countless failed attempts at creating the light bulb, famously said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." Each failed attempt was a seed that sprouted into the light that illuminates our world today. Imagine if he had buried his dream the first time the darkness surrounded him. Imagine if he mistook the soil for a coffin instead of a cradle. And it is not just inventors or leaders. This truth belongs to every one of us. Look at your own life. There was a time you faced something you thought you would never overcome. A test you thought you would fail, a heartbreak that shattered your heart, a rejection that made you question your worth. Yet here you are. You survived. And not only did you survive, but some part of you grew stronger because of that moment. You gained wisdom, patience, courage, or resilience. That failure planted something within you, and over time it bloomed into a new strength you carry today. The reason so many people never reach their true potential is that they run from the very experiences meant to transform them. They fear failure, so they avoid risk. They avoid the uncomfortable soil of growth because they cannot see the flower that is yet to bloom. But here is the truth. A life without failure is a without transformation. If everything came easy, you would never know the depth of your own strength. If the soil was never dark, the seed would never learn to reach for the light. So when failure visits you, and it will, do not resist it. Do not run from it. Sit with it. Learn from it. Ask yourself, what is this moment trying to plant in me? Because every failure carries a lesson, a shift, a transformation. Sometimes it plants humility, sometimes perseverance, sometimes a new perspective that will change the course of your journey. But if you bury that seed in bitterness or self-pity, you will never see it grow. It is only when we water our failures with resilience, with reflection, with courage that they bloom into greatness. I want you to imagine your life as a garden. Each dream you have is a flower waiting to grow. But gardens are not always sunny. They endure storms, harsh winds, and seasons of darkness. Your failures are like storms. They feel destructive, but in truth, they nourish the soil. Rain may seem cold and relentless, but without it, the roots of your dreams cannot grow deep. If you can endure the storm, your garden will one day bloom in ways that leave others in awe. There is a quiet power in embracing failure as a friend rather than an enemy. When you see failure as a seed, you remove its power to shame you. You understand that every no brings you closer to the yes. That matters. Every fall is preparing your legs to stand taller. Every door that closes is guiding you toward the one that leads to your true purpose. This shift in perspective transforms how you live. You stop fearing the fall and you start embracing the climb. Let me tell you a secret that the most successful people in the world already know. Greatness does not bloom in perfection, it blooms in persistence. The difference between those who achieve extraordinary things and those who give up is not that the successful never fail. It is that they refuse to let failure define them. They take the seed of each failure, plant it in the soil of resilience, and water it with relentless action until it grows into the life they imagine. So I ask you now, what failures are you holding in your hands? Are you treating them as stones weighing you down, or as seeds that could transform your life? Are you hiding from your failures, or are you learning from them? Your answer to this question will determine whether you remain buried in darkness or rise toward the light of your own greatness. Close your eyes for a moment and think of the dream that matters most to you, the one that sets your soul on fire. Now imagine yourself pursuing that dream with everything you have. On that journey, there will be times you fall, times you doubt yourself, times you want to quit. But in each of those moments, remember this: the soil of failure is not your grave. It is your beginning. Every time life pushes you down, it is giving you a chance to plant your seed deeper, to grow roots so strong that no storm can uproot you. One day, if you nurture that seed, if you rise after every fall, if you choose transformation over defeat, you will bloom. And when you do, the world will see not just the beauty of your flower, but the strength of your roots. They will see a person who refused to be defined by failure, who understood that every setback carried within it the promise of a comeback. They will see someone who turned pain into power, doubt into determination, and failure into the foundation of greatness. So the next time you fall, and you will, remember the seed. Remember that darkness is temporary. Remember that transformation takes time. Keep watering your dreams with effort, with courage, with unshakable belief. Because the day will come when the flower of your greatness blooms, and when it does, it will not just be beautiful. It will be unstoppable. Life has a way of leaving marks on us. Some of them are visible to the world, and some remain hidden deep within our hearts where no one can see. These marks often come from the moments we never expected, the storms we never invited, the battles we never thought we would have to fight. We call them scars, reminders of pain, of struggle, of moments we thought might break us. But what if I told you that every scar you carry is not just a memory of survival, but a proof of transformation? What if I told you that resilience has the power to turn those scars into strength, into the very force that carries you to greatness? Resilience is the quiet, unshakable spirit that lives inside every human being. It is the part of you that refuses to surrender, even when the world says you should. It is the whisper in your soul that says, get up, when everything in your body says, stay down. It is the fire that flickers when the wind of hardship tries to blow it out, refusing to be extinguished. Resilience does not erase the scars you carry, but it does something far more beautiful. It turns them into a map of your strength, proof that you have endured, and evidence that you can rise again. Scars are not signs of weakness. They are signs that you are stronger than whatever tried to break you. They are chapters in your story, written in the ink of perseverance. Every scar has a story to tell, and within that story is the lesson of resilience. Think back to the hardest moment of your life, the moment that cut you deeply, the moment that made you doubt yourself, the moment that felt like the end of your path. Somehow, despite the weight of that pain, you are still here. You endured. And that endurance has shaped the person you are today. The world often celebrates polished success, the glossy achievements, the perfect appearances. But the truth is that the most inspiring beauty lies in the people who have walked through fire and emerged stronger. True strength is not built in comfort. It is forged in the moments that hurt. The scars you carry are like medals of life, not for the battles you won easily, but for the battles you had to fight with every ounce of courage you had left. And in that fight, resilience was born. Think of the stories we admire most, the heroes we look up to, the people who inspire us. They are never people who had an easy road. They are people who faced storms that should have destroyed them but chose to rise instead. They carry scars that tell the story of how they refused to give up. Nelson Mandela spent 27 years behind bars, yet his spirit remained unbroken. Malala Yousafzai was shot for daring to believe in education, yet she rose to speak for millions. Their scars became their strength, and that strength changed the world. Your scars may not be on the front page of history books, but they matter. They are the proof that you too can endure. Maybe your scars come from heartbreak, from loss, from betrayal, from failure, from dreams that didn't go as planned. Maybe your scars are invisible to everyone else, but they are heavy to carry. And yet, here you are, breathing, standing still, capable of moving forward. That is the power of resilience. Resilience does not mean the pain disappears. It does not mean life suddenly becomes easy. It means that even when life hurts, even when you are bruised and bleeding, you refuse to let the pain define you. It means that you choose to stand again, to try again, to hope again. With every act of resilience, your scars begin to transform into a quiet strength. A strength that not only carries you forward, but also inspires those who witness your journey. There is a beauty in scars because they speak of battles survived. Imagine a tree that has weathered countless storms. Its bark may be cracked, its branches bent, but its roots run deep, and it still stands. That tree is stronger because of the storms it faced. You are the same. Life's storms have bent you, tested you, and tried to break you, but your roots, the courage within you, have held firm. Every scar on that tree tells a story of survival, just as every scar in your life tells a story of resilience. So often, we try to hide our scars. We cover them, we pretend they are not there, as if they are something to be ashamed of. But scars are not symbols of shame. They are symbols of life. They say, I have been hurt, but I have healed. I have been broken, but I have risen. When you begin to embrace your scars, to see them not as flaws, but as the evidence of your strength, you unlock a power within yourself that cannot be shaken by the next storm. Resilience is not a gift you are simply born with. It is something you build, one trial at a time. Every time life knocks you down and you choose to rise, you are building resilience. Every time fear whispers that you cannot go on, and you take one more step anyway, you are building resilience. Every time you turn pain into purpose, rejection into redirection, and scars into strength, you are proving that nothing in this world can break a soul that refuses to give up. I want you to imagine the scars you carry right now. Think of the moments that left them behind. Now imagine that each scar is a source of power, a reminder of the strength you have already proven. Let that awareness fuel your journey forward. Let it remind you that you have survived worse than this, that you have been tested before and emerged stronger. The world is not changed by people who never face adversity. It is changed by people who let adversity refine them, not define them. It is changed by people who rise from the ashes with a fire brighter than before. It is changed by people like you. If you choose to let your scars speak not of what hurt you, but of what made you unbreakable, life will always have challenges. There will always be moments that test your heart, your mind, and your spirit. But in those moments, remember this. Scars are not the end of your story. They are the beginning of your strength. They are the marks of a fighter, the proof of a survivor, the beauty of a soul that refuses to be defeated. One day, You will look back on the moments that tried to break you and realize that they were building you. You will see that the pain you carried was shaping a version of you that is stronger, wiser, and braver than the person you were before. And when that day comes, you will not hide your scars, you will wear them with pride, because they will not remind you of suffering, they will remind you of victory. Resilience turns scars into strength. It takes the broken pieces of your story and weaves them into a foundation that no storm can shake. And the most incredible thing is that your strength will not only lift you, but it will also become a light for others who are walking through their own darkness. They will see your scars, your resilience, and they will find hope in your story. So the next time life leaves a mark on you, do not fear it. Do not hide it. Embrace it. Because every scar you carry is an opportunity for resilience to transform you. Every scar can become a stepping stone to the life you dream of. And every scar, when touched by the power of resilience, becomes not just a reminder of what you survived, but a declaration of the unstoppable strength you now possess. There is a fire that burns in every human soul. It is the desire to become something greater, to create a life that carries meaning, to rise above the ordinary and touch the extraordinary. Yet the path to greatness is not paved with ease. It is not given to the lucky or reserved for the chosen few. Greatness is earned, and it is earned in the fire. It is forged in the relentless pursuit that continues even when the world says, stop. It is born in the quiet moments when no one is watching, in the nights of exhaustion, in the mornings of doubt, in the countless steps forward when giving up would be so much easier. Greatness is forged in the fires of persistence. We all admire success when we see it from afar. We see the shining stage, the trophies, the applause, the victories. But what we do not see are the endless hours of struggle behind those moments. We do not see the times when the dream felt impossible, when the failures piled up, when the voices of doubt screamed louder than the whispers of hope. Persistence is what carries a person through those moments. It is the unbreakable spirit that says, I will try again, even when the last attempt ended in disappointment. Think of the greatest athletes, artists, inventors, and leaders the world has ever known. Their lives are not stories of instant triumph. They are stories of relentless effort. Michael Jordan, the basketball legend admired across the globe, was once cut from his high school team. Imagine if he had taken that failure as the end. Instead, he used it as fuel. He practiced longer, trained harder, and pushed himself further than anyone else. His greatness was not an accident. It was forged in the fire of persistence. The fire of persistence is not comfortable. It demands sacrifice. It demands that you rise when you would rather sleep. It asks you to continue when the results are invisible and the road feels endless. Most people quit before the fire has time to shape them. They give up because they mistake struggle for failure, forgetting that struggle is the very process that builds greatness. Iron cannot become a sword without fire. Gold cannot shine without being refined. And a human being cannot reach greatness without the trials that test their persistence. There will be moments in your life when everything in you will want to stop. Maybe it is after a dream slips from your fingers for the 100th time. Maybe it is when the world does not believe in you, when doors close, when rejection becomes routine. In those moments, remember this, the fire is working. Every step you take, no matter how small, is shaping the person you are becoming. Every no you face is fuel for the yes that will change everything. Every moment you choose to persist is a strike of the hammer on the anvil of your destiny. Persistence is not about moving fast. It is about refusing to stop. It is about taking one step more than you thought possible, and then one more after that. It is about holding your vision in your heart when your hands are empty. It is about trusting that the seeds you are planting in the dark will one day bloom in the light. The world belongs to the ones who keep going, to those who understand that greatness does not come to the ones who start, it comes to the ones who refuse to quit. History remembers those who persist. Thomas Edison, who gave light to the world, failed thousands of times before success. Colonel Sanders, the founder of KFC, was rejected over 1,000 times before anyone agreed to use his recipe. Walt Disney was fired from a job for lacking imagination. Imagine if these people had stopped at the first failure, or the 10th, or the 100th. Their greatness was forged because they stayed in the fire long enough for persistence to shape them. Your life will test you in the same way. You will have dreams that seem too far away, mountains that seem too high, nights that seem too long. And in those moments, you will hear two voices, one telling you to quit and the other whispering, keep going. The voice you listen to will determine your destiny. Quitting is easy, persistence is hard, but the fire of persistence is the only forge where greatness is born. Let me tell you something powerful. The fire you are in right now is not here to destroy you. It is here to shape you. It is here to burn away the doubts, the excuses, the fears that have held you back. Every challenge, every delay, every failure is a flame in the fire that will make you unshakable. Do not fear the fire. Embrace it. For it is in this fire that your character is tempered, your strength is revealed, and your future is built. There will be times when your persistence feels invisible, when no one cheers for your effort, when no one sees the nights you stayed awake chasing a dream. But remember, greatness is often silent in its creation. The roots of a tree grow deep underground before the first leaf ever touches the sky. Your persistence is your roots. Every time you keep going, you are digging deeper, anchoring yourself for the day your greatness will finally break through the surface for the world to see. And when that day comes, people will call you lucky. They will admire your success, your talent, your fortune. They will see the flower but not the roots, the gold but not the fire, the mountain peak but not the endless climb. You will know the truth. You will know that your greatness was forged in the fire of every step you refused to give up on. So I ask you today, will you step into the fire? Will you keep walking when the road is long and lonely? Will you keep your dream alive when the world doubts you, when failure knocks again and again, when hope feels like a flickering flame in the wind? Because if you do, if you persist, if you refuse to quit, the fire will make you unstoppable. Your greatness is waiting for you, but it will not come to the hesitant. It will not come to the ones who give up at the first sign of struggle. It will come to the ones who wake up every day and take another step, who push through every barrier, who choose faith over fear and action over excuses. Greatness is not an accident. It is a choice made every day in the fire of persistence. And one day, you will look back and realize that the fire that once scared you, the fire that burned and tested and challenged you, was the very thing that gave you the strength to rise. You will see that the nights of doubt, the days of hard work, the years of struggle were all worth it. You will stand in your moment of greatness and know that it was forged in the fire you refused to run from. So let the fire shape you. Let persistence become your greatest weapon. Refuse to give up no matter how hard the journey becomes. Because greatness is not found in the comfort of ease, it is born in the fire of those who keep moving forward one step, one day, one unshakable act of persistence at a time. Life will test every dream you hold. There will be moments that break you, moments that strip away your confidence, and moments when the weight of failure feels too heavy to carry. In those moments, it is easy to believe that life has already decided your story. That defeat has the final word, but the truth is no defeat is final until you decide it is. The journey from defeat to triumph is not determined by fate, luck, or circumstance. It is determined by choice, your choice. We all face moments of defeat. It could be the failure of a dream you poured your heart into, the loss of an opportunity you believed would change your life, the betrayal that cut deeper than words, or the disappointment that made you question your worth. In that moment, defeat whispers, "This is who you are now. You are broken. You are done." But defeat is only a voice. It is only a moment. It becomes permanent only when we accept it as truth. Triumph begins the moment we make a different choice. The choice to rise, to keep moving, to rewrite the ending that life tried to hand us. Triumph is not a gift that appears overnight. It is the reward of refusing to stay down. Every story of victory begins with someone who could have quit but didn't. Think of the countless individuals who have transformed their lives by refusing to let defeat define them. Oprah Winfrey was fired from her first television job and told she was unfit for TV. Walt Disney was told he lacked imagination. Stephen King's first novel was rejected 30 times before it became a bestseller. Each of these individuals faced moments where defeat was real, where the world said, "You are not enough." But they made a choice. They chose to turn defeat into fuel. They chose to keep going when everything said stop. And because of that choice, they turned their defeats into triumphs that the world will never forget. What about you? What defeats have you faced that left you questioning your strength? Perhaps you lost a job, failed an exam, lost someone you love, or watched a dream slip through your hands. Those moments hurt, and they are meant to. Pain is real, but pain is also a teacher, and every defeat carries a lesson for those willing to rise. The question is not whether life will knock you down. The question is whether you will choose to stand back up. The journey from defeat to triumph is built step by step, decision by decision. It begins the moment you refuse to let a single moment define your future. You may not control everything that happens to you, but you control the choice to rise. That choice is the bridge between the life you have and the life you dream of. Imagine two paths standing before you after a defeat. One path is the path of surrender. It is the easier road, the one where you accept that your story is over. That life has won, that you are a victim of circumstance. That path is dark and narrow, and it leads only to regret. The other path is the path of resilience. It is steep, uphill, and often lonely. It requires courage to take the first step, but every step forward makes you stronger. Every choice to keep moving brings you closer to the moment when your story transforms into one of triumph. Triumph is not reserved for those who never fall. It is reserved for those who choose to rise after every fall. It is reserved for the ones who understand that defeat is an event, not a destiny. You can fall 10 times, 100 times, and still choose to rise one more time than you fall. That single choice, repeated again and again, is what creates the unstoppable force that transforms ordinary people into extraordinary stories. When you look at the lives of people who inspire you, it may seem like their triumphs were inevitable. But if you pull back the curtain, you will see the countless defeats they endured along the way. You will see the rejection letters, the failures, the doubts, the nights spent questioning whether the dream was worth it. The only difference between them and the ones who stayed in defeat is that they made the choice to keep going. You have that same power within you. The world may tell you otherwise. People may doubt you. Circumstances may make you feel small. But the power to rise is yours alone. No one can make the choice for you, and no one can take it away from you. The human spirit is capable of extraordinary comebacks because it is fueled not by circumstance, but by decision. There will be days when rising feels impossible. Days when the weight of defeat sits heavy on your chest. On those days, remember that triumph is not one giant leap. It is a series of small steps. It is choosing to try again, even if your hands are trembling. It is choosing to take one more step forward, even if you are walking through the shadows of fear and doubt. And with each step, you're moving closer to the light of your own triumph. Let your defeats become your teachers, not your chains. Every failure carries a lesson that will guide you to a stronger, wiser version of yourself. When you choose to rise, you do not erase the defeat, you transform it. You turn the pain into purpose, the setback into a stepping stone, the ending into a beginning. Triumph is not about avoiding pain, it is about using pain to fuel your rise. One day, you will look back on the moments that hurt the most, and you will see them differently. What feels like an ending today will one day be the chapter that explains your strength. The nights you cried, the moments you doubted, the times you thought you were finished, they will become the foundation of the triumph you build. Your scars will not remind you of defeat, they will remind you of the day you chose to rise. And when that triumph comes, and it will if you persist, it will mean more than any easy victory ever could. Because it will not just be a win, it will be a declaration that you are unbreakable. It will be the proof that no defeat, no failure, no loss could hold you down forever. It will be the story that inspires others to rise from their own defeats, because they will see in you the living proof that choice is stronger than circumstance. The journey from defeat to triumph begins now. It begins the moment you refuse to surrender to the weight of the past. It begins the moment you decide that your story is not over, that the pen is still in your hands, and that every step you take is a step toward the life you were meant to live. Choose to rise. Choose to keep moving. Choose to turn your defeats into the fuel for your greatest triumphs. Because life will try to write your story for you. It will try to hand you endings you did not ask for, titles you did not choose, and scars you did not want. But you hold the power to write the next chapter. And if you choose to keep writing, if you choose to keep rising, your story will not end in defeat. It will end in victory. Life is not always gentle. It will test you with storms you never saw coming, winds that shake your foundation, and nights that seem endless. There are seasons in life when everything feels cold and dark, when the weight of hardship presses on your shoulders, and hope feels like a distant memory. In those moments, it is easy to believe that your story is over, that nothing beautiful can grow from the ruins of your struggle. But here is the truth: the most extraordinary blooms often rise from the harshest soul. Flowers that bloom in the storm do not just survive, they inspire the world. Adversity is not the end, it is the beginning of transformation. The challenges you face are not here to break you, but to awaken something within you that comfort never could. Adversity forces you to dig deep, to reach for strength you did not know you possessed, to grow roots so strong that no storm can uproot you. And when you rise from that struggle, when you bloom in the face of adversity, your life becomes a beacon for others. Your courage whispers to the world, if I can rise, so can you. Think of a lotus flower. It does not bloom in clear, pure water. It blooms in muddy, murky ponds, rising through the filth to reach the sunlight. Its beauty is not diminished by the mud. It is defined by it. In the same way, your struggles do not diminish your worth. They define your strength. Every hardship you face is the mud, the adversity, the challenge. Every act of resilience is the stem pushing upward. And the day you bloom, your story will inspire those still trapped in their own darkness. We often admire people who have achieved greatness without realizing that their stories are rooted in adversity. Nelson Mandela spent 27 years in a prison cell, yet his spirit rose unbroken. And when he bloomed, he inspired a nation and the world. Helen Keller, born blind and deaf, faced a life of unimaginable difficulty, yet she bloomed into a writer, an activist, and a global symbol of hope. Malala Yousafzai faced violence for daring to seek education, and yet her bloom became a movement that continues to inspire millions of girls around the world. What makes these stories powerful is not that they avoided adversity. It is that they bloomed through it. They refused to let pain become the final chapter. They let their struggles become their soil, their persistence become their water, and their hope become their sunlight. And because they chose to bloom, they became a living inspiration to the world. Your life carries the same potential. You may feel trapped in mud right now. You may feel buried under the weight of problems, failures, or heartbreak. But buried is not the same as gone. A seed, too, is buried before it blooms. Life may have placed you in the soil of struggle, but within that soil is the very environment you need to grow into the person you are meant to become. The choice to bloom is never easy. Adversity whispers that you are too weak, too broken, too far gone. It tempts you to give up, to accept the mud as your home. But the seed that becomes a flower does not stop growing because the soil is dark. It pushes upward, day by day, unseen by the world, trusting that the sun is waiting. That is the essence of blooming through adversity. It is the quiet, unseen persistence to rise when no one is cheering, to believe in light, when surrounded by darkness, to choose life and growth when giving up feels easier. And when that bloom comes, it is not just for you. The world is watching even if you do not realize it. Someone out there is fighting their own battle, waiting for proof that survival is possible, that beauty can come from brokenness. Your bloom becomes that proof. Your life becomes a testimony that strength is not the absence of struggle, but the triumph over it. There is something profoundly moving about a person who blooms after suffering. Their laughter carries depth, their words carry weight, and their presence carries hope. People who have walked through the fire and still radiate light remind the world that resilience is possible. They are living reminders that adversity does not destroy beauty, it creates it. Do not underestimate the power of your bloom. Every challenge you overcome is a light for someone still trapped in darkness. Every time you choose to rise instead of surrender, someone else is inspired to keep fighting. Every act of courage ripples beyond your life into the lives of others. Blooming through adversity is not just about personal victory. It is about igniting hope in the hearts of those who witness your journey. So, how do you bloom in the face of adversity? You begin by refusing to let pain be wasted. You allow every setback to teach you, to shape you, to strengthen your roots. You learn to embrace the rain instead of fearing it, because you understand that the same storm that bends you will also nourish your growth. You hold on to hope, even if it is a flicker, and you nurture it until it becomes a flame. You remind yourself every day that this mud is temporary, that this darkness will not last forever, and that the sun is waiting for your arrival. One day, the world will see your bloom. They will see the strength that grew from your struggle, the grace that rose from your pain, the light that emerged from your darkness. They will call you inspiring, but you will know the truth. You will know that you were simply a seed that refused to die in the soil of adversity. You will know that every tear, every sleepless night, every moment of doubt was part of your transformation. And when you bloom, it will not just be a personal victory, it will be a gift to the world. It will be a reminder to every person facing their own storm that beauty can grow in the harshest places, that life can rise from brokenness, that hope can survive the darkest night. Your bloom will become a ripple of inspiration, touching lives you may never meet, changing hearts you may never see. Remember this, the world does not need more people who have never faced struggle. It needs people who have faced the storm and emerged with flowers in their hands. It needs people who can look into the eyes of the hurting and say, I have been where you are, and I promise you, you can rise too. Your bloom is more than personal, it is a lifeline to someone else. So if you are in the mud right now, if life feels heavy and hope feels far, hold on. Do not stop growing. Do not stop reaching for the light. Every day you persist, every day you choose hope, every day you refuse to give up, you are closer to your bloom. And when that bloom comes, it will not only change your life, it will inspire the world. Bloom where life has planted you, no matter how harsh the soil. Rise through the mud. Reach for the light and let your story remind the world that beauty is not the absence of struggle, it is the triumph over it. Blooming through adversity is your greatest gift, your greatest strength, and your greatest legacy. And when the world sees your flower, they will not just see what you survived, they will see what you became.